Hello, thanks for joining. We're going to be moving through a 30-minute practice, focusing primarily on the upper body. So we'll begin by coming to a comfortable seat. Sit nice and tall, slight firmness to your belly. Relax the legs, relax the shoulders. Let your chin drop down towards the chest. Allow the eyes to soften or close. Now we'll begin with breath awareness. Simply noticing the quality of your breath. If possible, breathing in and out through your nose. And add in a very soft Ujjayi breath. You're going to create a vibration or a restriction in the back of the throat so that there's a sound to the inhale and a sound to the exhale. You'll want to notice the pauses in between the inhale and the exhale, and perhaps just see if you can draw them out half a second longer. And then we'll settle into this with our intention being on focusing on the upper body. So while you're focusing on your breath, just notice how the upper body is feeling. If you have tension in the upper back or upper shoulders, if you're stiff or sore from any activities you've been doing. And then maybe the intention for your practice is to help to ease that out in some way. But first we'll finish with centering on the breath. We'll flutter the eyes open. And we'll start with letting the head gently roll from side to side. You're going to want to drop the chin, roll first one way and then the other. We're going to let the chin come back to center. Raise the chin up so it's parallel to the floor. Relax the shoulders a little bit more. And then we're going to take our hands up onto the traps and you're going to start to massage the muscles. Maybe noticing or finding if there's a side that's more tense, if there's a particular muscle group that's holding more tension for you, and just making note of it. Perhaps you can use the massaging action to ease out some tension before we start to move. We'll relax the hands down, roll the shoulders a few times, both directions. And then relaxing the shoulders down. We're going to come onto hands and knees. And you may want to have a block nearby just in case you need a bit more support. We're going to come into a gentle twist. Our twisted puppy pose. We're going to take the left arm underneath us, left ear, left shoulder is either going to come to the floor or to your prop. You can always slide a block underneath the ear. This shoulder has a bit more space and a little less pressure on it. Your right hand is out in front. You can use that to negotiate a deeper rotation through the upper back, reaching your left hand out and away. Or you could take your right hand and perhaps reach it up, maybe to the ceiling, or wrapping it around your back. Take a few moments to try the different positions for your right arm and then decide which one you want to stay with. And once you decide to stay, perhaps closing down the eyes, going back to a nice even breath, noticing the sound on the inhale, pause, and the sound on the exhale. switch sides. So the right hand will come back down. You'll unwind, coming back to center. You're welcome to have a few spinal flow movements or perhaps making adjustments to where your knees were resting. And we'll go to the other side. The right arm's going to come underneath you, your right shoulder coming down. And your left hand is finding support, either out in front, the top of the mat, rising up, or maybe wrapping behind the back. Your left hand will come down, you'll unwind your pose. We'll meet back at tabletop again. Take a few moments to move around. We're going to come into a puppy stretch, but we're going to have our forearms down onto a prop. So a block or a bolster or folded towels or blankets out in front. If you don't have them, you'd just be using your elbow points to the mat. Finding the right place where the block might be challenging, you just have to move it in and out until you find just the right spot. So our hope is that the elbow points are on the prop and our forehead is on the mat or the floor. So the elbow points will be higher than they normally are. Lower yourself down. Get your elbow points onto the prop. You could place your hands together in prayer pose and perhaps let them explore some different ranges of motion. And chest drops, forehead comes to the floor. And allow yourself to rise back up. We're going to come back into tabletop. More spinal flow. And returning to a neutral tabletop. Bring your hands slightly closer together underneath you. Your left hand will be firmly planted. Your right hand will now come just up off the floor. So you can move your right elbow point in a circle. Once you've done a few rounds, you'll switch the direction. And then explore a straighter arm. Now the arm that is supporting your upper body, the left arm is feeling some strength. The right arm is hopefully increasing range of motion. Again, you'll go both directions with your straighter arm. We'll complete that circle. Switch your hand that's supporting you. Right hand will be down. starting with the left arm being bent and circling the elbow point. Again, both directions. And working to a straighter arm. We'll release, coming back to tabletop. You can either have toes tucked or untucked, but we'll come to sit on the heels. Find a nice, tall, upright position. Slight firmness to the belly. Perhaps just a couple more circles of the shoulders. And then releasing the shoulders down to relax. We'll take the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Bend the elbows quite generously. Roll your shoulders and then squeeze the blades together as you lengthen your arms, pulling your knuckles down towards the floor behind your feet. We want to feel an expansiveness through the front of your chest, but we don't want to do too much of the jutting of the ribs out. So keep the ribs pulled back. Work more with getting your shoulder blades together, your elbows together, and the palms of your hands together. And then maybe if you need more, lifting the hands up and behind you. We're going to be staying here for a few breaths. We're going to add a little bit of a flow. So make sure that you're comfortable. And then when you're ready, you'll bring the head towards either a prop or the floor, and you'll let your arms come farther up towards the ceiling or the sky. Inhale, we'll rise back up. Unlace your hands, bring them out in front. Relace them, take the palms out and away from you. Tuck your chin, round your upper back, push your palms away, and then hold. Rise up, interlaced hands are above you, palms facing the ceiling of the sky. Straighten your arms, lengthen them, nice firmness through the belly. Hold here. And keeping your arms lifted, we're going to take a bend to both sides. Let your body come to one side, hold, feel the stretch from the hip up the side body. We'll come to center and switch to the other side. Back up to center, unlace the hands, they'll go one more time behind the back, interlacing the fingers, rolling the shoulders. Squeeze shoulder blades, elbows and palms towards each other. Lift the hands out and away from your low back and fold forward. Forehead either to prop or the floor, hands to the sky. Rising up, hands will again interlace out in front. They go out and away. Tuck the chin round the upper back, push the arms out and straight. Rise up tall, arms up overhead. Keep them here as you side bend to both sides. Back to center, where you can release your hands down. Roll the shoulders. Alright, then we're moving from here back onto our bellies. You will need a block or a folded blanket or towel. We're going to move into a shoulder stretch. Let yourself lower down. Adjust your hips and your legs. And have your prop out in front underneath your chin. We're going to take our left arm out straight. Have a look at it. Make sure that the left wrist and the left shoulder are in line. So the hand's not too far down towards the waist or too far up past the shoulders. Straight out like a T. You're going to bring your left ear down to your block and your right hand underneath your right elbow or shoulder. You're going to start to roll onto your left side. You're going to crawl or walk your left fingertips away from you until you can feel the stretch to the front of the left shoulder joint. Right hand can move to wherever you need the support, and your head can rest on your prop. We're going to make 2 adjustments to the placement of our left hand, left arm. So if you're not feeling a strong sensation, just stay here, go back to the breath, mindful breathing. Release back to your belly. And this time take your left hand higher, so more like at an angle from your left shoulder. Palms are down again. Ease your way onto your left side. Find the support for your head, or you may have to have your head held up and lifted. Right hand supports you as you ease your way back. You're going to feel this in a different location through the shoulder joint, perhaps in through the armpit. You're going to find where you can hold and still breathe. You can always adjust the height of your block if you need to support the head of the neck. Releasing back onto your belly. Left hand now goes closer towards your hip. Palm again faces down, rolling back onto your left side. Walk your left fingertips away from you. You need to stretch your arm out and away from you to get the sensation. Use your right hand again to find just where you need to hold. Adjust your prop for your head. And we'll hold here. Now release back onto the belly. Just take a moment to make any adjustments, and we'll go straight to the other side. Right arm out straight. You want to be able to see that it visually lines up in a straight line. Block is in place. As you roll into your right hip, walk your fingertips out and away from you, stretching the arm, and then adjusting your left hand to support you. Release back to the belly. The right hand now comes higher at an angle out from your shoulder. As you roll into your side again, walk your hand out and away from you. Use your left hand to support. Release, come back to your belly. Last time, moving your hand now at an angle below your shoulder. And walking it away from you as you come to your side. Release, come back to the belly. From here, we're going to remove the prop from out in front, just off to the side is fine for now. And we're going to come up into our seal pose. So before you do so, just to wiggle your legs around, you may need to take the feet wider. The hands are going to come at about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock off your mat. Gentler is farther away. More intense is hands closer to you. When you're ready, start to straighten the arms, rise up, and then find where you know you can hold safely. As you hold here, feel free to nod your head yes or no, or do some half circles. Arms are going to stay nice and strong and straight. Shoulders are drawing down and back. Chest is going forward. Crown of the head reaches up. Allow your elbows to soften, lower the body back down to the floor. Cross your forearms, take a few moments to rest. You might want to rock your hips, windshield wiper the legs. Usually just a deeper, fuller breath will ease out any tension that might have built up. When you feel ready, we'll press ourselves back up to tabletop. Swing your feet out in front. Find whatever props you have nearby. Perhaps they're blocks or a bolster. Perhaps it's a folded towel or blanket. You want to have something that can come behind and underneath your upper back. I'm just going to use a block for today. It'll be on its side across the mat. Legs can start bent or straight, your choice. I prefer having bent knees as I lower down. You can hold onto your prop behind you, and you're going to want it to be placed underneath your shoulder blades. So think that you want your chest to be the highest point of your body. Hang on to it, lower down. Let your head come to rest. You may need to lift your chest and adjust your props. You find just the right place. Arms will go out to the side, palms up if you're able, or perhaps even up overhead. And then you can decide if the legs want to stay bent or perhaps straighten. You're going to make sure that you have the support for your head and your neck. Perhaps it's another blanket or pillow. You could even interlace your hands behind your head and get a nice stretch through the arms and support the neck. We're going to go back to the mindful breathing, noticing the sound of your inhale. There's a pause and then the sound of the exhale. Notice how when you inhale, your chest will rise. There'll be a sensation of expansiveness. And the exhale is all about releasing and letting go. There's softening. Try to stay with those sensations for the next couple minutes. Now, if you've found a lot of comfort where you are, you can stay. If you'd like to make a small change, use your arms to gently press yourself up off your prop. And you can make adjustments, maybe making it lower or higher, perhaps changing the orientation of your props. And we'll be coming right back down. Again, we want to emphasize the sensation of opening out through the chest, stretching through the front of the pecs, the shoulders, and then a sensation of relaxing into the posture. I'm just moving my block so that it's now on its side with another block to use for my head in case I need it. So if you're going to try this option, of course, you'll hang on to your prop again as you lower down. Make sure it's right where you need it. And then supporting the head as it comes back to either a prop or to the floor. Adjusting the placement of your arms for maximum benefit, maximum sensation. Knowing that you do have to be able to relax into it. So it can't be too strong. You have to be able to breathe slow and steady. And you have to be able to stay. Last few breaths here. You might want to explore a little bit of movement with the arms, perhaps farther up overhead, exploring down lower, until eventually you can use your arms again to lift yourself up off the props, and we'll come back up to seated. Once you've arrived back at seated, one more time, bringing your hands up to massage the muscles that are around the neck, the traps, upper back. If you're able, I'd encourage you to get your hands into the scalp, massaging behind the ears, the muscles that support the cervical spine, even massaging the tendons and ligaments that are on the front of your neck. If you don't worry about messy hair, get your hands into your hair and give yourself a massage like you get at the hairdresser. It feels so amazing. And then we'll relax the hands down from our massaging, and we'll end back at our mindful breath. Feel free to close the eyes down, have them downcast if that's more comfortable for you. You want to have a sound to your breath. Hear the inhale, notice the very subtle pause, and then hear your exhale. Try to make your breath as soft and quiet as you can, not rushed or gasping. Let the rest of your body be very relaxed. It's just a very slight abdominal engagement to support your spine. And this is where we'll end our practice. to just practice sitting and breathing, having breath awareness, relaxing the body as much as you can. If you need to keep going on with the rest of your day or evening, namaste. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.